Welcome to the broadcast, everybody. So today we're talking about your shipping page on your Volusion website, which is one of the 4 pages that absolutely need to be done when it comes to informational pages on the site. We've already talked about this one a couple of weeks ago, and then we've talked about this one. I think the About Us we did last week. We've talked about the return policy page, and then today we're going over shipping information. Now you can call it whatever you want to call it on your site, shipping, or you could do shipping info or shipping information, whatever is fine. I just prefer shipping. That's pretty common. That right there, those are your 4 core informational pages. If you have those 4 pages done, you have products on your site, you have categories to organize those products, a simple design, and your payment set up and your tax set up, and then some other little finer details, then you're ready to launch your site. So I want to make sure we all know what to do on the shipping page. All right. So first of all, this sounds like kind of a silly question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Why do we need one? Why do we have to have a shipping page on one of these sites? This isn't an affiliate site we're talking about. This is an e-commerce site. Why does shipping matter? Right, people care about shipping, don't they? Yep, I agree with that. Any buyer on the internet at this stage of the game, they are definitely concerned about shipping. We live in an age of Amazon Prime, and Amazon Prime is 2-day free shipping, and therefore people, the bar is set so high. I'm not saying you guys have to offer 2-day free shipping, but the bar has been raised over the years that we've got to make sure at least we're clear and concise and people understand our shipping policies before they buy, right? Customer has to understand that. They definitely have to understand that. So I don't think we need to belabor that point. Why do we need it? Because you just have to have it, bottom line, and we could explore all the different reasons, but let's leave it at that for now. Let me give you some advice, okay? Here's what I would have. What I would have on shipping page, okay? So number 1, these are, well, no, I'm not going to go into what goes on the page yet. Let's wait on that for just a second. Let me just give you some advice. This will just be some general advice before we dig into some more of the details. Number 1, offer free shipping on your site. Okay, just do it. Now I know if your supplier charges $6 per order, what difference does it make, right? If you have a product you get for $15 and you offer free shipping, you're going to have to build the $6 in, and then your new cost is $21, and you're going to have to mark it up above that. Is that any different from charging a certain amount, $15 or more, and then adding $6 at the end? The money side of it, the financial side is the same, but the psychology is not. And like we said, in a world of Amazon Prime, if you want to compete, I'm not saying you can't compete if you don't charge shipping, but I would just prefer that you don't. Make it simple, make everything free shipping where possible, and build in that shipping price into the existing price. You'll just consider that as a cost, right? But you're not paying for it. You're building it into the price, and the customer's paying for it. How do you know how much to build in? You need to talk to your supplier about that, okay? Talk to your supplier about it and find out what they charge. All of your suppliers have their own shipping policies, so learn about it. Become an expert on how their shipping works. If they say that, for example, they do standard UPS rates, they do UPS ground or whatever, then you can use a service like shipgooder.com to estimate. Okay, now I'm not going to spend my time today on ShipGooder other than to say if you have a weight, some dimensions, and then your supplier's address, if you have that information right there for a product, which you should be able to get, you can estimate the cost of what that would be to ship it across the United States using ShipGooder. It's a shipping estimate type software. And so it makes it easy then, without you actually knowing exactly where your customer is. You can say, well, if my office, my supplier's office is in Colorado, maybe I should find an address in Florida, put in the weight of my product, the general dimensions of the box, and then my supplier's address, and it'll estimate what the cost would be for, say, UPS ground to Florida. That's just going to be a good estimate. That's what you could build into your price. And that would work in most cases. So you need to be able to estimate effectively. I want to make sure you're aware of that. What about international shipping? Who asked that? Kirk, well, that was you who asked that. Yeah, here's my advice. Don't offer it up front anyway. I should clarify. I mean, you have to realize the United States is a huge market, right? Some of you guys are like, well, I want to offer to Canada. Well, Canada, their economy is the size of Texas, right? That's a pretty decent sized economy, but put it into perspective, that would be like only Texas, okay? So if you're not offering to Canada or to Europe or whatever, that's okay to start. In fact, I would recommend just offering to the lower 48 states. So that was going to be my fourth point. Offer shipping to only lower 48. Why? Because it's just easier. Don't do the U.S. protectorates. Don't do Alaska. Don't do Hawaii. If you'd like to, maybe put a clause on your shipping page that says, hey, we would consider shipping internationally or to Alaska, Hawaii, and other U.S. protectorates. If you're interested, send us an email here. You could do that. But I'm telling you guys, the vast majority of your market, especially when you launch your company, is right here in the United States. Don't feel like you need to take that leap of doing international shipping right off the bat, because that's an entirely different can of worms that I'd prefer you not open yet. Exceptions apply, and some of you may be that exception, but for the most case, that across the board is good advice. Okay? There you go. Yeah, Kirk says we're having that issue at my job when handling international orders. Yeah, it's just tougher. There are more headaches involved. Keep it easy on yourself. We want to make this whole launching a website as smooth as possible. Don't create headaches that don't necessarily end up being worth it early in the game. Okay? Okay. I'm not saying we never do some of that stuff. We will, but let's leave it at that for right now. Okay, so before we get into what needs to be on the page, let's create a divide here, and let's say we need to create the page. And so I want to make sure you guys understand how to do that. Let's go create the page real quick, and I will show you just how to do that. So here's a Volusion site that you're looking at now. Allow me to zoom in a bit. This is a default site, and there may already be a shipping page on it. There may not be. In this case, there is no shipping page listed down here in the footer. Now, there's two scenarios here. There, on your site, look to see if there's a shipping page by default. If there is, here's the way to edit it. Let me log in to this account first. Right, two approaches here. If there's a shipping page already, here's what you do. Come into your admin, go to design and then site content. Okay, you guys see that? Design and then site content brings us here. And then I'm going to scroll down and we're going to find the shipping section. I can't remember exactly where it is, so I have to scroll a little bit. There it is. It's number 57. See this right here? 57. This is the shipping section. Okay. Okay, so this is where it's at. You simply just click on 57. This is the default messaging that you're going to see here. You're going to want to delete this out probably, because this is what it says for all of our clients. Simply look for the, and then it gives the little shipping logo, to enjoy free shipping on selected items throughout the store. If the items in your order, which qualify for free shipping total $99 or more, your order ships free. I'm going to recommend we don't do that. We just want free shipping on all orders across the board. Could we create this policy? We could. But for the sake of this discussion today, we're going to make it simple, free shipping across the board. So I would edit that information here and then hit save. Okay. Now, here's the thing. That's if there's a shipping page that exists down here. Since there is not, we're going to create our own shipping page. All right. And here's how we're going to do it. We're going to do it the same way we created the About Us page, same way we created the Contact Us page, the Returns page. Let's go Inventory, and then Categories. And I'm going to go kind of fast here because this is something you guys should have all seen before in some of our other trainings. I'll call it Shipping. I'm going to put it up here in the nav menu 1, and I'm going to save it. Okay, that's step 1. Once that has been done, we're going to go out and we're going to find the shipping page up here, which we don't want it there forever. We're just doing that temporarily. So I'm going to click Shipping, and I'm going to copy this address, okay? Where's the address once I've clicked the shipping page? Well, it's right up here. That's the address for the shipping page right there. Okay, you guys see that all right? At least on this site. Anytime you're on a given page of a website, look at the URL, and that's the address. So because that's the address for the shipping page, I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to come down here to these little sections here. And you can put this kind of wherever you want. I'm going to put it under About Us. So I'm going to hit Edit. And I'm just going to create a little space here. And I'm going to call this Shipping, and then I'm going to hit the little checkbox, and that creates a shipping page. Oops, I put a Z in front of that. Let me delete that out. Okay, now I need to link my new shipping page, so I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to click the little chain link right here. I'm going to edit link. I'm going to delete the email out, and I'm going to click here on URL, and I'm going to paste that new address in that we copied a minute ago and hit Insert. And then we're going to click the checkbox again. That should make it to where no matter where I am on the site, if I come down here and click Shipping, it takes me to this shipping page that we've just created. Okay? So that's done. Now, if I don't want the shipping up here anymore, I can just go back here to my site, Inventory, Categories. There's my shipping page. We don't want to delete it. We simply want to edit it. And we want to make sure we pull it out of nav menu 1. You see it's sitting right here in nav menu 1. That's why it's showing up in that nav menu. We don't want it there anymore because we've already installed it down into our footer. So we're going to change this to Select, and we're going to save it. And that should do it. Okay? But before we move on, that shipping page will always be here in your inventory, even though it's not nav menu 1. Always remember all of your categories are found somewhere right here under the view list icon. Okay, so that's where we can go if we want to edit our page in the future, and we'll find it listed here somewhere. And sure enough, here it is, number 106. All right, okay, so there it is, number 106. Let's click on it, and now I want to ask you guys a question. And this is what I want to spend maybe the next 10 minutes on here as we're working on this together. What goes on the shipping page? What do we need to have on this shipping page as a minimum? Because I'm going to put it here, right? This is where it goes. I make sure I click on Category Descriptions, which is underneath this Advanced Info, and I'm going to put all my shipping information in this box right here, okay? All right, so what should we put here? Let's make a list. Let's erase that. Let's go out to word counter. What do we absolutely need to have inside of our shipping page? You guys tell me. What do we need? I'm not surprised, Jocelyn. It is a nightmare, I'm sure. FedEx is, well, any international shipping, probably not even just a FedEx thing. Any of the major couriers struggle with it a little bit. I've done a fair bit of it through just the normal post office, and it's worked out okay. But I've had some of my own challenges, that's for sure. But what are the most? Yeah, what do you look for as a shopper? What do you want to see on a shipping page? What do you care about when you buy something as it relates to shipping? Come on, what's the number one question? I know you guys know this. How much does it cost? Right? Isn't that number one in our minds? I don't care who you are when you're shipping or when you're buying online, you care how much it costs and who's paying for it. How much does shipping cost, right? That needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed clearly. Okay. What else? How about where do you ship? Right? Some of you guys suggested that. I might be from Alaska, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, right? Virgin Islands, Denmark, Australia. If I get to your site, and you will have international people find your site, you have to ask yourself, do you want to make sure it's clear on your shipping page whether or not you ship to them, or else you're going to get blown up with lots of questions about it. So yes, where do you ship? You need to make that very clear, right? What else? Yeah, how fast? How long does it take? Isn't that what we care about? How long? How much and how long are the two biggest ones? Tell me how long it takes on your shipping page. Okay? Who does it? That means like what courier? This is one right here. How do I get a tracking number? That's a commonly asked shipping question. Customers want to know. Handling time, maybe. Meaning handling is from the time it's purchased to the time it's actually put in a box and shipped. How many days handling? This you could probably, number 6, you could build into number 3. Kind of, Denise. Denise says, doesn't how long depend on where? It does, sure. But if we're assuming we're only shipping for the most part to the lower 48, usually on the how long scale, if your supplier's in Colorado, you can say, well, no matter where you're at in the United States, you can expect to get your package in, 5 to 7 business days. Your supplier will know that, right? Your supplier will have those rough estimates that you can use on this page. And so to that end, guys, you got to understand your supplier's shipping information inside and out. If you can't answer these questions right off the cuff, you don't know your supplier's shipping policy well enough, and you need to go educate yourself right now. Most suppliers have their own little shipping page on their site, and if there's questions that are left unanswered, then you should be picking up the phone or sending an email and making sure you understand all of these questions from your supplier, okay? And then we want to simply put that information over into our shipping page. This one will matter around the holidays. Do you offer any expedited shipping? It's it's December 22nd. I need this by December 24th. What options do I have? Kind of thing. That may not matter as much right now. You may get the occasional request for expedited shipping. Not often. It's more of a holiday thing, to be honest. But you may want to have a little section of your shipping page that addresses that. Okay, so Horace, that's an excellent question. What if you have multiple suppliers? Well, the best thing you can do is try to mesh all of your suppliers' general policies into one. That's your best bet. So if you've got 3 suppliers and you're trying to answer, well, how much does it cost? Hopefully you've made it to where it's free shipping on your entire site and you've just worked that out, right? Where do you ship? Hopefully that's the same. How long does it take? Maybe it varies a little extra. Who does it? Well, it's FedEx, UPS, or USPS, depending on our vendor. I mean, you can say things like this. Handling time, expedite. So you have to try to mesh a lot of that into one. If it gets really sticky and your suppliers are so incredibly different that it's impossible to mesh 3 different shipping policies into one, you can have shipping policy A, shipping policy B, and shipping policy C. You could actually say that in your shipping page. And then in your products, you would go and you would say this product XYZ widget. In the description, you can say shipping policy B applies to this product. If you have questions, and then you could put a link over to your shipping page. So you can do it that way. You could have like an A, B, C shipping policies that are totally different, have them all listed, and then on the shipping page say, hey, depending on what you're ordering, we'll determine which policy applies. Check which product in the description. It'll tell you what shipping policy. See, but that gets a little convoluted. It gets a little confusing. I would probably try to mesh them all together and have one distinct shipping page. Does that make sense? Yeah, answer your question a little bit, Horace. A lot of you guys do have multiple suppliers, so that's a pretty common issue to have come up. Okay, so I think that's a pretty clear and concise look at what needs to be there. And if I ever review your shipping page, I'm going to look for answers to these questions. So what I'll consider doing now is I'll come over here to this product category description section. And I might have subsections here. I don't care how you create your shipping page, in that as long as it's clear and concise and people can easily find the information they need, you can write it out how you want. This is kind of this is my preference on how to do it. I'll usually do like a little introduction line, something like this. Welcome to our shipping policies page. Please find our policies below, and if you have any questions, click here to contact us. Now, I would probably make this link right here. And if you've already created your contact us page, I would link this. And that's very easy to do. You'd simply just highlight the text. You'd click on the little chain link right here. You'd insert a link. You would need the URL though. See this? This URL box is, you need the URL to your contact us page. Right? I don't have my contact us page, but there you go, espn.com, right? There's your example. So I put in that URL, I hit insert, and there you go, it creates the link for me. So that's kind of nice. That way, if somebody's looking through this page and they're like, oh crap, I can't find the answer to my question, well, at least they can click on that and then contact you. Okay? All right. So let's go below that. So you may do it in this kind of a form. How much does shipping cost? And then blah, 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 right? You might do it kind of like the FAQ style. And I might format it. I might bold this to make that look a little bit better. How fast will I get my order? And I might bold this. And then below that, right, blah, blah, blah. I don't want that bolded as well. I need to zoom in on this. This is probably kind of small for you guys. Oh, that didn't really help. There we go. Okay, I'm not going to bold my normal writing here. There we go. What else do we want to do? Where do you ship? Question, answer, blah, blah, blah. See this kind of format right here, guys? I don't want this bolded again. So that looks kind of nice. I mean, if you can see through the garbage writing that I put in there, you see how this is like really easy to skim, right? If I save this and we go look at it on the site itself, it's usually kind of nice looking that way. Shipping down here at the bottom, right? See how easy that is to follow? I like the all bold caps heading kind of look. I think I think that's the best look. So, but you need to go through all those questions that we talked about. Now, you don't have to do it that way, right? You could edit the category, and you could put a little paragraph together, right? Just a little paragraph like this, and within your paragraph, you can just answer all the questions there. Maybe you have a couple of paragraphs, and you have all your questions answered. Maybe you bold the important stuff. So this line right here is important. I bold it. Maybe this little section right here about where I ship, maybe I italicize it or something, right? Whatever you can do to make it easy. Maybe I do a bulleted list right here, right? Maybe I click on this little bulleted list and I say free shipping on all orders. We only ship to the lower 48. Exclusions apply. Email us if you're from another country or whatever, right? Shipping takes 4 to 6 business days in most cases, right? You could do the whole bulleted list thing and just kind of list out your policies that way if you wanted to. I actually don't care what you do from a formatting standpoint. As long as you can look at it and you can say, yeah, that's pretty easy to read. Yeah, I can skim through that pretty quick. It's skimmable material. I can find the answer to my question pretty easily. But make sure whatever you do that all the information that we talked about today in this section right here is listed there. If you don't know how you're going to get them their tracking number, find out when you get your tracking number from your supplier, and when you get it, you can just tell them, hey, when the item ships, we'll email you your tracking number. And that's what you would have there. If you do a good job here, here's your advantages. One, you'll have a better conversion rate. You will get more people to buy that come to your site. If this page is done poorly, people won't want to risk working with you. So if there's no incentive at all other than that, let that be your big motivator. And then the second big incentive is you will eliminate a lot of emails and general questions that come from customers if you're clear here. There was a time on one of my sites where I think I was ranking really well in Google with people from the Philippines. Don't ask me why, but I was doing real well with Filipinos, and so I was getting a lot of orders, but also a lot of questions because my shipping wasn't very clear about shipping to the Philippines. So because I was getting all those questions, I made a Filipino shipping section that said, hey, to all of my Filipino friends that are ordering, here's our policies. And it drastically cut down on all those questions. Well worth my time. Took me 25 minutes to create the page and the content. It saved me, 15 minutes a week for the rest of the time I was working on that site. This is a time saver, and that goes along for any of your informational pages. They are all time savers if you do them right. All right? Guys, questions about that? I don't think we're going to go further today. I think that's enough for you to get a really nice, legible, concise, well-written shipping page onto your site. And like we said, if you've got your About Us, company info page, contact, returns, and shipping, those are kind of like your core informational pages that you need to have on the site before you launch. All right? If you don't have it, get it done. If you do already have it, maybe take a look at what you can change to make it better. And if you need your help or need a little bit of help from a coach, make sure you reach out and have them review it, okay? All right, everybody. Hopefully that helped, and we'll be doing some more Volusion training next week, same time, same place. Thanks for coming along.